Nice, nice. So we got the monumental meeting, the rebel in the wind, the Brooklyn monk. How did this beautiful thing happen? I didn't even expect this.
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah. He showed up on my street.
Clearly, it's kind of happened.
Well, I talked with
And we're in
Antonio a while
Mongolia for the
back
folks at
about.
home. We are in Mongolia.
Yeah.
We're in Mongolia. And Lavelle is from Inner Mongolia, but we're
Mhm.
So
both from New York.
so inner. Can you explain that to stupid people because inner and outer, I get confused. So which
Well,
one is
so
which?
really only like mainly the people in China say that, right? But just one of them, Inner Mongolia is in the autonomous region of China, right? So essentially they used to be one and then they split. Um, and that's it. So, but there's actually more Mongolians in general in Inner Mongolia. It's a really big place, a lot of cities and a lot of different kinds of people.
Yeah. Inner Mongolia has a population of over 20 million. Outer Mongolia has a population of 3 million. And in Inner Mongolia, there's about 4 or 5 million Mongolians.
I would say double that. I think there's a political reason why that, but there's a lot. There's a there's,
There's a lot.
there's a
Dun
lot,
dun
trust me.
dun.
Yeah.
What's going on,
You know.
China? What's going on?
Yeah, don't say too much.
Right? But
Hmm.
I just thought it was so amazing. I was actually talking with Antonio, and he's like, "This is guy Lavelle though. Like, I've been in like Mongolia for like a year now, and I still haven't like got any wrestle. But this guy Lavelle, like,
Hmm.
he's like doing it, and he's not actually in Mongolia." And like my mind just like
Yeah,
exploded.
yeah, man. I mean, this
Well,
is all weird. Like we didn't plan to meet this way. It's like I had to do my visa, so I had to come here to do my visa to get back into Inner Mongolia, and it just so happened the Airbnb I'm renting is literally on the same street,
Yeah.
so it all worked out.
Yeah, we've known about each other ever since Lavelle came to Asia, but
Yeah,
but we never got to meet.
yeah.
So it's been pretty cool.
Mhm.
And a lot of people online were pretty excited when they found out that we met. They're like, "Oh, you better record that."
Yeah, man.
oh, so so how the heck did you get interested in like Mongolian wrestling?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, because I was doing Chinese style wrestling, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
I've been training martial arts since I was little, but I got really big into like Chinese style wrestling and just traditional styles in general. Kazakh wrestling and I like the Mongolian wrestling. But when I started going to competitions, I would see the Mongols like just dominate, right? Especially when it comes to like jacket styles of wrestling, right?
Hmm.
So so for Chinese style wrestling, I won the world championship, but then the Mongols couldn't get the visas. So I was like, it bothered me. I was like,
Hmm. And this
nah,
is
I know
Swai
who the real.
Jiao? Swai Jiao?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, for Swejiao. So in Swejiao, all the champions are pretty much Mongolian. So I knew,
Chinese
yeah,
sport dominated by
Except you have to
yeah,
Mongolians.
define, but you got to define that. The guys who win are Mongolian.
yes, the guys
The
who,
way win are
yes,
Mongolian,
the
not the
guys,
champions.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, China doesn't call them
So,
champions. It's just the guys that win. Okay.
well, no, no, what they do because these guys, it's a little different now, but yeah, but really, the all the champions right now and for a long time are all Mongolian guys, and I knew them, but I knew that like I wasn't on the level. I wanted to get on their level. And the only way was to move there and like understand their culture and like how they train. Like, what's the difference? Because this is again the difference between like anyone can learn wrestling, like you can learn a technique, but to actually wrestle like a specific group of people, you have to actually understand how their mind works, right? How
Hmm.
do they perceive the world? Like, what is their perspective, and how like what developed those attributes? Because they develop those attributes that they have naturally from being herdsmen,
Right.
right?
Not from training.
Uh,
No, not from just lifting weights. They
Yeah.
do that when they get older,
Yeah.
right?
yes.
So even this video you see, right? This is a girl. She's a tiny, tiny little Mongolian girl. She's not even really a wrestler, right? Like her family's wrestlers, right? But they all practice like this. They all do this, wrestling
So is she
horses and
practicing or is she?
yeah.
Because
Well,
Well, they're
I grew
probably
up
doing some
around
real.
mhm,
horses, and
yeah,
sometimes if a horse is like really unruly, like you
yeah,
have to like throw them down, they call it, but you have like
yes,
ropes and leathers, and you hold them
no,
down
no, no,
until they don't fight anymore, and then you let them back
yes,
up. But she's
yes.
just doing this
So
for practice.
no, no,
It's
no.
a
So
hell of a
they
deal,
they
though. It's a hell of a deal.
yeah,
I
well,
hate doing
it's
it.
kind of it's a bit of both, right? So also the Mongolian horses' legs are different. They're shorter and they're used to stepping in like holes and stuff like that. They're not gonna break like a Western horse. But So what they do is they do it to tame them because most of the horses here are wild,
Yeah.
right? And they don't really tame them that much, only a little bit
Yeah,
so
the
they can like
horses are like half broken. I would
yes,
call it half broken,
half
like
broken,
because
right?
they're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get these young horses, and then you gotta take them down. So while they do that, they essentially is practicing a technique. They don't look at it that way because it's just part of their
Yes.
life, right?
Yep.
But
Ah.
I did it. I have videos of me doing it too. Like
Oh,
it's
really?
pretty intense. Yeah, those
But
horses will drag you.
and the
Wait,
other thing about the
can you
horses,
walk me
yeah,
through this, Lavelle? Like it looks like in
Yeah,
judo we call this like a ochigari, but that's like ochigari is like
it
for
is.
it is
humans.
Tochigami.
So we
So I
call
don't
it
know what
daga.
you would call it.
Yeah, in Mongolian it's called daga. It's the same technique, but the Mongolians have like 50 ways to do that one
So she's
technique. They have
got the
so many
tail.
variations.
The tail is like
Yeah.
your hikite, and then she's pushing on the halter. Like she's
Yes.
definitely got to
So
use your hands too.
yeah, well, normally we do it without any kind of rope. What we do is, you can either grab the hair in the ear, or
Ooh,
you
the
can
ear,
grab the ear
mean.
or the hair in the tail. And what you have to do is you have to pull it in
There's a
to
trick.
kind of make a little circle. Yes, you have to pull it in because if not, they'll run straight and they'll drag you. So you have to pull their head in, and then once you feel a little resistance, you can slide right in.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like when I did it, my hands hurt for like a week. Like it was intense.
And the
Yeah,
thing about
the
horses,
Mongolian
like
horses do look smaller than the. I grew up around
This is
quarter
they are,
horses.
Yeah, they are, but also this is
They're
a
scrappier
young
though.
horse.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
baby.
this is a baby. They do this to the and because she's a little girl, she's really really tiny, 40
Also,
some
it's
pounds.
winter, so that horse is probably less than a year old.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh,
But
they're furry and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
but the size of the Mongolian horse, right? The smallest American horses are about 11 hands tall, and the biggest Mongolian horses are like 10 hands tall.
Yeah.
So the
That's right.
biggest horses here are smaller than
Yeah.
but they're crazy and they're powerful and
Yeah.
they're like
They're
endurable
wild. Like
and wild.
I was riding some. I was trying to learn how to ride, and they
Hmm.
kept putting me on the race horses, which is a mistake. And so they threw me on, and they're like, "Okay, have fun." Man, I almost died 3 times. After
Really?
that, I said, "Yeah." Like the horse went up a mountain, and I'm by myself, and then it just
I'm
starts
sorry. Where
running
is this
down,
at that
bucking
you're
me.
learning to ride?
This is in Inner Mongolia.
Okay.
This is in the
And you're from
grasslands.
the
I live in
U.S.?
Germany and the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
That's
lives in Inner
interesting. Like I
Mongolia
asked.
though. He's been in Inner Mongolia for
Four
almost four
years,
years.
4 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So all of this
Mhm.
training is happening abroad. To me,
Yeah, all this
I
training.
consider it abroad.
Yes.
Maybe to you, it's normal.
Well, yeah. Now, to me, it's home, but yeah, yeah. It's all happening in the grasslands. Normally in a place called Shilingo. That's where I live. That's like the home of the best wrestlers there. They're all from Shilingo.
Okay.
And
Wow.
another thing about the horses that Mongolians drink the horse milk, they ferment the horse milk,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So in the spring, after the babies are born, you have to milk the horses, and they got to be milked about once every hour,
Yeah,
once every 90 minutes. And you might have like 100 horses.
yeah.
So
Every 90 minutes or what? Just because
every
they
90
need the
minutes,
milk
every
or
90 minutes,
the nipples will explode or something?
you might I don't know what happens if you don't do it, but I trust their judgment on this. And like I stayed with a herder family. They had maybe 300 horses, but there were
Yeah,
about 50 that needed to be milked every 90 minutes. So every 90 minutes they're wrestling like that with the horses.
yeah.
All day.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I mean dealing with animals like I used to have to help shoe horses. I mean you get strong.
You get
Yes.
strong.
Right?
Yeah. And the camels too. Like I had to deal with the camels a few times. They're my least favorite because
They're
they're just huge and
huge.
not friendly.
I
They're
couldn't
like those
imagine a
things in Star
camel.
Wars.
Yeah, the camels, it took like maybe 6 or 7 of us just to get it down. And like the interesting way to get the camels down, they'll wrap the legs up and then they'll do like a single leg. Like
Oh,
they'll
a
take,
single like a head
yeah,
inside or head outside?
yeah. Yeah, it is it's intense though. It's intense. I have videos of that too. I have to send you some videos, man.
Yeah.
You'll laugh a little bit.
So, but
It,
I think a lot of people don't know this. I didn't know this until recently. Like, for instance,
mhm.
so where Antonio is and where you are, their styles are very different. They have different rules or different things that
Yes.
are important to them.
A little
Like,
bit
well,
different.
they
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
wear a different
Clothes are
attire.
different. Rules are different.
Yeah, so there's 5 like primary styles of Mongolian wrestling. I would say there's about 8, but the Mongolians will say there's 5. Okay, so you got here they have Huffle, which is like what you see the kind of it looks like briefs, right?
And here we really only have the one, and it's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
pictures you always see with the briefs and the usually blue and red.
Well, I
Top.
mean,
Yeah,
but this leather jacket looks cool.
that's
The
the
where you
Chinese.
are,
That's the
Antonio, those
Jungapple.
outfits look kind of adorable. They're like pink. I mean, I'm sure they're some badass dudes, right? But they're all like
Yeah, it's
blue and red, and they're like it covers
they like
everything but
those
your
ones.
belly. It looks like the
Yes,
fry cook that you're trying to punish, right?
that's hilarious. No, they like those because it shows like the physique, right, of
Mm-hmm.
the Mongols. But where I'm from, you wear the leather one and the big
Okay.
pants.
And the big baggy pants.
Yeah, banjul.
They don't get to show off their leg muscles like
Nah,
we
they don't.
do.
They don't. But
Uh,
yeah, I love the leather one.
is it like a climate difference, or why do you think that there's such a
It's the
difference in
same.
attire? Just what different things are important to them, or is it just somebody had to
Um,
make a
well,
choice, a style choice?
well, the uniform from where I live in Inner Mongolia, it comes from like the military, right? It's like the armor, right? So what they used, the story goes like when the guys would wrestle, they would turn their armor backwards. This is why we have the symbol in the back. It's normally it's in the front, right? So they would flip it backwards and wrestle each other, and it just became
Yeah, if you look at this picture over here on the right-hand side of your screen with the back of Lavelle's jacket,
yeah,
that would normally have been like the front breastplate of
yes,
the armor for a
yes,
soldier.
yes,
And so then when they would practice wrestling, they would turn it around like that.
yeah. And
Oh,
the jackets used to look different as well. Like this is one of the jackets. It's called butterfly jacket. That now is like the standard, but just 30 years ago there was many kinds of jackets, many
really?
shapes, many cuts. Mhm.
And if you look at the jacket that we use here, our thing is based on rope.
Yeah,
It was that you were riding the horse and you had some rope and you would just tie the rope around your shoulders and stuff so that your opponent could grip you.
that guy's a beast right here. This guy,
Oh, this is
Jesus.
TikTok. Is this Is this somebody else's video?
yeah. So this is Chinese Douyin,
Oh, this is
TikTok,
Chinese.
Chinese
Oh my
TikTok.
goodness.
So China, they have their own TikTok. They call it Douyin, and
Oh, I
the
thought
Mongols. We
TikTok
just
was
post
Chinese.
Yeah, we just post a bunch of videos of. There's like so many wrestling videos there. Um, but yeah, this
Oh.
guy is a legend. He's massive too. His head's about the size of my torso. It's so big, and and a lot
That
of them are
looks.
like judo champions
Yeah, that
and
kind of looks like
freestyle.
I missed that as a like a Suri
It's cho- it's,
Kobayashi or something. Yeah,
yes, we
Suri
call it
Kobayashi.
choho. Yeah,
Choho.
you're just blocking the leg and pulling.
Uh,
That's his
but
thing though.
I thought it was really interesting. I think I saw you when you talked with Shadi, and
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
sounded pretty interesting. Like because he was asking you to compare it to judo, and I think judo maybe like because judo has like a world presence, like in the
Yes.
standardized techniques. Whether you like
Yeah.
the style or not, I think they have like a good documentation. And he was
Yes. Yes.
comparing, but I think you said like it's like a sotogari or it's like, but because the objectives are different,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not. So how would you?
yeah,
How do
so
you? What did you mean?
the main difference would be so the execution, like the setup is really what's different because we our jackets are not loose, right? You can't just pull someone. So you have what we do is everything is about dragging them. You drag them down, right? You hold
Okay.
them, and when we drag, we always go in a circle. So what I say is judo is a little bit more linear, and like book is all about going in circles, especially because there's no weight division. So if you're 60 kilos going against a 150 kilo man, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things aren't going to work, right? You have to hold them down, and when they rise up, then you can go into your techniques. Um,
Hmm.
Also, we can't touch the ground, so like you can't over commit or like a lot of judo techniques. Like if you mess up, all right, you fall, but you can get back up. We don't have that
Oh.
opportunity, so you
Oh,
have to
so
really
any
stay on your
type of
feet.
fall is a loss.
Well, if you fall, but they fall first, whoever falls first
Whoever
loses,
falls first
right?
loses.
And yeah, exactly. So that's
Like when I was doing Shuai Jiao, like I would win, but I'd win on 1 point throws because you only get 1 point if you go down with your opponent.
yeah, exactly.
But in Mongolian wrestling, I mean,
There's only one fall.
yeah, it's just the one fall. So as long as you land on top, you win.
This is my one of my good friends, Savruk from Avak. He's not that big. He's about
Your
my size.
your boots aren't turned up in the front the way
No,
ours
no, no,
are,
no.
right?
So we don't wear the. Some people wear the halfbuk, like
Okay,
the boots from here, because Mongolian boots.
right.
But ours tend to be is the like Manchurian. We call them
Oh
Ujukchin style
wow, that's
because
interesting.
they're a little bit better for the style.
Okay,
You can move a little bit. more
Okay.
freely, right?
All right. So our boots here in Mongolia, they're pointed, and the point faces up, like the boot curves up in the front.
You see my teacher in the middle, he's wearing the
Yeah,
ones
he's wearing
here,
the ones from here.
Oh,
right?
those
Yeah,
He
do.
likes
and they curve
Mm,
up. The point curves up because it's part of the Buddhism that you don't want to kill anything.
yes.
So you don't want to kill the ground or
Yes.
the flowers or whatever. So
so right
and then
here, these
I
are
guess
more like the
outer
outer
Mongolia.
Mongolian
Yes.
boots.
Yeah, what we use here.
Those are the same ones.
Those are the same ones we
Yeah.
use here.
Wait, so
He
right
bought them from me.
here, and so the toes point up. That's a Buddhist concept
Yeah,
that you're not like stomping the ground or you're not killing
Yeah, you're not
yeah,
animals
you're
or
not
something.
digging into the ground.
because your animals gotta eat the grass, you can't
Right,
destroy everything,
right.
right?
Oh, okay. And
Yeah, if
these
you
are
kill
more
the
the
kill.
outer ones where that's not really
This
an
is inner
issue.
Mongolian. Yeah,
So
this is
like you
old
said,
school
they're
from
adapted
Manchurian.
from the military.
Yeah, from
So
Manchurian during the Qing Dynasty.
There's a real connection between Manchuria and Mongolia,
Yes,
in China. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
huh. Wow.
It's an insane way you have to say that. There's a connection between Mongolia and Manchuria
Yeah,
in China.
it's a bit complicated.
Yeah.
It's a bit complicated, but yeah,
And then it's connected to Japan through Manchuria.
yeah. But no one
Wow.
talks about it. Even the Janga, like you see the in Inner Mongolia, we wear like the ribbon necklace, like the elite wrestlers wear this. Um, this they don't really know when it first started, but I found the old script of in old Mongolian script from 1669 that stated it for the first time. So I believe the Manchurians created the Janga for the Mongolians as a rank in a way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I might have
Oh,
missed
and
that.
if you look at the middle,
What's the Janga
well,
again?
if you look
Janga,
if you look at the picture in the middle where the guy's wearing the white jacket,
that's me.
that's
Yeah,
Shuaijiao.
bro.
That's Chinese wrestling.
Oh,
And
here.
we're 90 some odd percent certain that the outfit and the wrestling itself comes from Mongolia, even though it's Chinese traditional wrestling and the Chinese
Really?
traditional jacket, or like from Manchuria.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, Mongolia slash Manchuria.
It's not Chinese in the sense of Han
Right.
Chinese.
It's not
Yeah.
Han Chinese, but today it would be considered like Han wrestling.
We're just practicing some techniques. They do it such a different way. You see, everything's like circling, and that
Yeah.
jacket's so tight, you can't just pull it. This guy's a beast, though.
That jacket is like so much heavier than like a judo gi because it
Yeah,
kind of looks like a judo gi, but it's way heavier,
and
dramatically heavier. It'll almost sit up. Like if you when
yes,
you
it
take
will.
off your
Yeah,
jacket and put it on a chair, it almost sits
yeah.
upright.
Huh. More rigid, huh?
This
Wow.
guy, Galot, he's one of my good
Well,
friends.
it's kind of interesting. Looks like you can actually put your fingers inside of the sleeves, which you can't
Yeah,
do
you're
in
Yeah, you
allowed to put
judo.
your
can.
fingers inside.
You put your fingers inside. That's the main one of the main grips.
Yeah, there's like seven main grips on the because that was actually what I did in college in China, but there's seven main grips on that jacket, and you're allowed to put your fingers inside the sleeve and inside the collar.
Uh, okay, so you actually give lessons on
Well,
wrestling
this was
online, or?
before. This is me and my teacher. What we're doing. He got sick this last year, so we had to put it on pause. He had to end up getting cancer. But
Oh,
what we're doing is once a month we would just do a lesson just for everyone to jump in and teach Mongolian like culture, like different things about the culture and wrestling and techniques, and then just do like a Q&A after. People can ask anything they want to about Swaijao or both. So 'cause my
huh?
teacher's a both. He's a champion in both arts.
Really?
But he's the head coach of my region. He's the head in Junsun. He's the head coach. So yeah, he's such a little beast.
What kind of questions do they ask? Do most people ask you? You constantly answering the
All
same
types of
questions,
things.
or?
No, I mean, it depends on the topic too, because he'll talk about, for instance, the meaning of the Jangai, and he'll talk about like how shamanism kind of relates to Mongolian wrestling or whatever it may be. So but a lot of them ask like differences between judo or jujitsu or how can it be applied in this for freestyle, whatever. Because no one does Mongolian wrestling, so they want to know how it can relate to them, right? How to do strength training, like the Mongolians. I say, go buy a horse, have a good time.
Yeah, I know.
You
People,
get
yeah, people
strength.
always write to me. They're like, "What's the leg routine for the Mongolians?" I'm like, they're born in Mongolia. That's their
It
routine.
really is true. Like
Yeah,
eat a bunch of boats
you
and
just
ride a
eat
horse.
and wrestle horses
Yeah.
because you ride a horse. Because when you ride a Mongolian horse, your butt
You
doesn't
do
really
get
touch the
you do get
saddle.
really thick thighs, and you get really good
Yeah,
stability. Because you have to like
yes,
Yeah.
you can't like constantly grip the whole time. You have to be limber and
Right.
strong. Yeah, because
yes,
Yeah.
if you
Well, and
grab
in
if you
Mongolian,
hold too tight, you're gonna like get rocked around. But
yes,
too
yeah,
loose, you'll
yes.
slide
yeah,
off. So
yeah.
it's like very
And in
Hmm.
much a
Mongolian riding,
yin
though, your
yang
butt
type of
doesn't
thing.
touch. Your
What's
Yes.
butt
that?
doesn't touch the saddle, though. For most of the time in Mongolian riding, your butt doesn't touch the saddle. So your thighs are just constantly engaged.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And those guys, like where I live, where I live is known for like horse people.
Okay.
So they'll just jump on the horses, like the wild ones they have to tame. They'll just like nothing, no
Nothing.
equipment. They'll just jump on it and they'll fly off, break their arm, do it again. Like they don't care. To them, it's just part of life. It's very
Mm.
different than how we view it. Oh, this is my boy right here out in the
Oh, that
lake.
looked kind of like a wrestling kind of slide by.
Yeah, so this technique is called hunter. He's just doing it from a specific grip.
Are they practicing or are they competing here?
Oh no, that's a competition. That dude's amazing. He beat me like 5 times. I can't beat him. Not yet. He's
That's
a
amazing
one
how.
of the
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying he's also one of the top Swagel players like from our generation.
But if you look at his leg technique, the way his legs are moving, that's like Shrijo.
Yes. It is a Swagel technique.
That's a
He's
Shrijo,
just
yeah.
doing it with a Mongolian grip.
Yeah. I've never seen anybody here move their legs like that.
Hmm.
They might do a similar technique, but the legs will move
Yeah.
differently.
Well, it looks like a technique, that we use in wrestling, but it seems so hard to move with those baggy pants and
No,
boots.
the pants aren't a problem. It's the jacket.
It's the jacket.
The jacket
Oh,
has metal studs all over it, and it's about this thick. It's like it's really hard. Like the number one thing that will happen for everyone that trains in a Mongolian bulk is you're gonna break your fingers just from
oh,
the jacket.
breaking
Yeah.
fingers, huh?
Yeah, the jacket is just you're gonna get within the first 6 months, everyone's fingers are getting done.
And
But
here it happens from the
this looks
rope.
nice.
Yeah,
Like he tosses
Rope.
his head so he can move him this
yes,
Yeah.
way.
mhm,
But
Yeah. But
it
if
looks
you
like
look at
he's
his
got
legs,
something better because he actually has like something to grab onto on
yes.
his
That's
yeah.
what he's
elbow,
doing.
right?
Yes, he's grabbing.
As he
Yeah,
steps
right there.
behind
Yeah.
Hmm.
and
But if
pushes
you
him
look at his
down.
legs, that's a technique from Chinese wrestling. We have this Jibun Gong, which is the exercises you do every day. And that's actually one of the exercises. And
Yes,
you do it
yes.
like thousands of
That's one of the
times.
main ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Old men. There's old men in Beijing. Like they do that every day, like hundreds of times, and they
Mhm.
only wrestle on Sundays. And like they're really good, actually.
Yeah, this is one of the main ones.
Yeah.
This is my favorite technique as well, probably my best one.
Hmm.
But that guy's different.
Well,
Trust me,
this looks
man.
like
I've seen
good.
him.
This looks like super, like, it seems like high percentage and low risk.
Yes, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why they
Yeah. Yeah.
like it. Where the Inner Mongolian wrestlers do this technique, not normally from this grip. This grip is a little bit. Not everyone can do it, but they do this technique probably the most. This and like the Duga, like the inside trip. Those two are the most common.
Oh,
I'd say like inside
Let me
trips
see if I
and
can find
sweeps
a
are
video of that.
I'd say inside trips and sweeps are like two of the most common
Yeah, sweeps are two.
techniques in general. Well, other than just
Hmm.
the gripping of the mawashi.
Well,
Yeah,
interesting.
I've
I
heard
always felt that inside trips were a little risky if you don't have control of the upper body. But I
yeah.
suppose,
Well, with Mongolian wrestling, with especially I'm gonna talk about Inner Mongolian wrestling.
okay.
You have to have a grip or you will get demolished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you there's no such thing as not having a grip.
yeah,
Very few
yeah.
people can do that.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day, but like we both wrestled in Beijing. We both did
Oh, here we are.
Shuaijiao. And when I
Oh,
went up
see,
there,
this time he tried that move, right? But he didn't have the
So
base.
so now this is a specific counter that they do. It's catching the leg, catching the chohol. So whenever someone does like a chohol, we call it, you see how you try to block them. You just step over it and then you just catch the leg.
I like those outfits better.
This is when you don't want to wear the full one.
That's really
So,
cool.
so these guys have jangab, but if you don't wear the full outfit, you
Yeah.
can't wear the jangab,
Oh, got you, got you,
right?
got you. You're under uniform.
Yes,
So
But
homie here is
like the
trying to get
difference,
inside. So what's happening? He's
yes,
trying to trap this leg, but he hooks it right here.
yes. He's
yeah.
hooking it. So you watch his legs.
Right here.
He
Hook. I wish
never
I could
lifts
slow it
his legs.
down so
Yes.
quick.
I guess because I know it. To me, it looks slow, but you guys don't know the technique.
Yeah. But right here,
So if you
he's
watch
putting it
him,
in the crook of his knee and trap him
yes,
back.
he's literally just hooking onto it. He's
Yeah.
circling it, and the reason when he's stepping over, this is the more important part. You see how he never lifts his leg up. He only moves his heel to his butt. the heel of his foot to his butt. Watch. Boom. That's how you get over the leg quicker. A lot of people move their leg too big when they try to escape or counter someone, so they end up getting caught anyway.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
only moves it as a little bit as
Oh, so you actually
needed, right?
try and like lift it up and over, and that's when you get your balance disrupted, huh?
Yes, yes. So they just lift from here. Everything is just your heel to your butt. And I tell people practice this. Also, if you pay attention, watch it when it starts again. Boom. He's already having his weight with his left arm. He's already holding onto the jacket and putting his weight into the other guy. So that's why he doesn't fly when the guy does the technique. He just steps over it. He's
Oh, so
holding on to him
this
already.
hand right here is kind of directing him down. Oops, sorry. Whoops,
Yes.
wrong over here. Let's see here. You probably can't see this, but oh, he's pulling him down with his belt. Oh wait, no, right here.
No, he's got the sleeve.
He's
Yes.
got the sleeve.
We
Yeah,
call it the
the
shin.
guy attacking has a belt grip, but it's kind of weak.
Yeah, well, this technique it's so quick, like
Right
it just kind
here.
of catches you.
Right here, he's pulling him down.
And
Huh.
And they put it in slow motion if you see. It's so fast. I've gotten caught a few times with this.
but
The
to
counter.
LaBelle's point from a minute ago, like about gripping the jacket, we both wrestled in Beijing, and the thing is, like when you're doing Shuaijiao, if you really don't want to grip the jacket, you could, if you're a really good freestyler, Greco or something,
Yeah, you can get away.
you can get away with it, but
Mhm.
you can't in Mongolian
No,
ball.
no.
Well,
Can't
I'm
at
wondering,
all.
yeah, if I mean I like over under type of grip like a Pimmel.
Yes.
Like,
Right, right, right.
can you even get that, or is it just too
In
dangerous
No,
to
Shuaijiao, you
get
can.
a
no.
hold of
In
your
Chinese
purse?
wrestling, I mean, sorry, in Mongolian wrestling and Inner Mongolia, over under is like the main grip that you'll see people get. They
Okay.
love either double underhooks, over under, or like the belt grip.
But then they're holding the
Yes,
jacket though. That's
yes,
the thing. It's like
yes.
it's the same over and under, but then they're gripping the jacket.
Well,
And
this
once a guy grips you there, it's so hard to break it.
this is the good right here. This is one of them.
Nice. Is that you?
Yeah, that's
That's
me.
you. Nice.
This guy hates me after that. He's amazing though. He's little, but he's amazing. Yeah, just same technique, it's just different fit angle.
Nice.
Oh, you hit that.
Yeah, I hit that. But you know what? He beat me this past summer. Man, he was lighting everyone up. He's about 75 kilos. He beat like all the legends this past year. Like huge guys. He's so good.
One of my favorite things about Mongolian wrestling videos here or China is cars. I love there's like a circle of cars, like a street fight.
Yeah. It's awesome. It is awesome. Yeah.
Right here to the inside trip. Nice.
Yeah.
What do you call it again? The dugout?
We call it daga.
The good.
Yeah. It means hook. It just translates to hook.
Just hook.
Like you're hooking something. Right? This is a few years ago. I was much
So do
smaller.
you find like there's kind of a standardization of techniques as you train different places, or is everybody got a different name for
Yeah.
stuff?
Well, I find like most wrestling styles have a lot of similar techniques. Just the way that they're performed are different. Like with Mongolian wrestling and Inner Mongolia, I found that there's more like inside trips to go, what you want to call it, than any style that I've ever like played with. I felt that there was so many variations, and because there's also more gripping, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
more ways to grip. So I was like, man, this is to me just fascinating. It's one of my favorite techniques. So, um, but I don't really do it the way they do it. I'm
I
just
see.
getting to do it like them.
Well, you said you already did martial arts, and like you didn't start with Chinese wrestling though, right? Did you?
No, I started with a bunch of things.
I assume you did
I did,
some judo because you were talking with Shadi. It seemed like you knew the
yeah.
same
So
terminology.
when like my main thing was Chinese wrestling the longest time, but I also did like some sambo, jujitsu, judo, a bunch of stuff. Like I always played with different people and learned a little bit of different arts. But yeah.
Okay, so you don't even remember what you started with.
Oh, when I was a kid, I started when I was 3 years old.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I did like 10 arts. You know what I mean? I just
Okay.
always did different stuff. Um, but
Oh, here we go.
this video right
What's
here,
this? The best
go
style is no style, huh?
if you go up one video,
One video.
up right there. Yes.
Here?
Nope, right there. Yes. This is a good technique. Boom, same thing.
Wow, nice. That is beautiful.
That guy is from my town. He's probably one of the best right now. He was a national judo champion for China for 81 kilos, but now he's like 100,
Oh, so this is
105.
another chance at the inside trip situation, and he reverses
Yeah.
him.
Yes, this is a counter.
I was told
Wow.
by actually a Polish judoka, right? That
Hmm.
it depends on what the side you put your head on, whether you get countered or not. But
Uh,
sometimes you got to use what you got.
yeah, it's true, but the Mongolian wrestling probably has more counters than other arts that I know. They have counters. Most of the art is about countering
Like
because there's no time limit and there's no weight division.
like right
So
here,
like you can't just rush.
he kind of comes over here because his head's
Yes.
over here, he gets tossed.
Yeah.
Whereas if he
Yes.
had it on the other shoulder, I feel like that other guy would have fell down on the bottom. But he probably knew that, so he was.
Yeah. Well, this guy, his name is Amarchana. Um, this is his technique. I've seen him beat everyone in Inner Mongolia with this one technique. And he has it from many grips. And he's very strong. I went against him 3 times. I can't beat him either. Like, but he's the top of the top when it comes to Inner Mongolian wrestlers. At one
Um,
year, when I first 3 years ago, he was like the number one. Now he just had a baby. He's not training so much, but he was the number one guy,
huh.
and he's
See,
scary. Like I can't move him. Like even when I'm training with him, he just doesn't move.
How much does the big guy weigh? Big guy.
Well, he's about 100 right now. He's probably about 120
The
kilos.
smaller
The
guy.
smaller guy.
Smaller guy's 120 kilos. So the bigger guy, he's got to be at least 140.
Yeah, he's huge.
Jeez, man, that is a big boy.
so when people do
Crazy.
wrestle, like you say, it's like no weight class, but do people tend to pair up with people their size?
No, you can't.
You can't pair
No,
up.
you don't know who you're going against until that last season.
Yeah. Because everything's based on numerology. There's
Yes,
supposed to be a certain number of wrestlers in each
yes,
evolution, and somebody wins to get the title and all that.
hmm exactly.
But
So
usually the
the matchmakers
bigger guys win the most, right? I mean,
Of course. I mean,
generally, I mean,
yeah,
there's always a few exceptions, but
yes.
generally the average not a winner here is like 100 and over 120, like over
Yeah.
120, the average.
Inner Mongolia is a little bit different, but it's the same. Like I've been to Nadam where I've seen guys that weigh 70 kilos win,
Right,
but
right.
it's very rare. It's like
But
they,
it's
they,
not the
they might
average.
win one time in that whole in 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy was they're so slick, man.
Yeah, there's a kid that
so he was
wrestles at
like
the
almost
Russian
on the way
church.
down, and he bridges out of it.
Yes, he literally
That's
doesn't. He never
amazing.
touches the ground.
That's
So
amazing.
so
You
so
can't
do
touch the ground at all.
do you kind of
Yeah.
get more traction because he's wearing boots? I mean, does he can he dig into the ground a little better?
A little bit, but they just train like this. You see,
Yeah.
I told you the main thing is he's holding on really tight, so he holds on to the guy
And he's
with that
smaller. That's a
jacket. Like
smaller
it's
dude.
oh yeah, he's really skinny in real life. When you meet him, he's skinny. He's tall and skinny.
Does he have a freestyle background?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's freestyle.
Yeah, because you'd
You can see
almost
he's
have
moving.
to for that
Yeah,
movement right
yeah,
there, that bridge. But there's a kid who wrestles at the Russian church who's probably 70 kilograms, and he's probably one of the best wrestlers at that team. And he's a sambo champion. And but that's just a rare thing, right? That you got a 70-kilogram guy that's announced, just like this
But
guy,
that's so
right?
nice. Like so, he sweeps that leg, but he catches it right there and uses it to
yes,
bridge over. But it could have been either way though if he was a little bit more for. Well, I guess
Yep,
not, because even as
no,
he
he doesn't touch.
falls, you see that
No, he
this
doesn't.
guy's
Never
leg
touches.
come up
that's
This
as
insane.
he's
this is
losing
not
his
like
balance.
it's not this guy that's red. Most of the small guys in Inner Mongolia wrestle like him. They all can flip around and twist. I hate going against them the most because they can't get them down. They'll just hold on to you.
And
The
they
big
can.
guys, once they're falling, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too when I wrestle here.
Big guys, once they go
I'd
down,
rather
they stay down.
Yeah, they just kind of
I'd
collapse.
rather go with the big guys. Well, I mean, not so much in Mongolian wrestling, but all the other wrestling I do here, the big guys are more predictable because they're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
try and outstrength me or
yeah,
whatever. And I would just rather like that. When I like the little guys are moving and they're constantly faking and
yeah, yeah,
moving and
yeah.
twisting, and it's just like so much harder.
Mm.
But to be honest, when you watch the Inner Mongolian wrestling, almost none of them are just. They all have backgrounds with other things.
Yeah,
Like they go on the national team for either freestyle, Greco, or judo. Some of them do some, right?
because they can actually earn a living. You can, well, I mean, like you can get that. It's judging. You can get like a small government salary
Yeah,
for doing judo or Chinese wrestling. Yeah, or
freestyle.
even freestyle, right? Yeah, Greco, but you can't for Mongolian wrestling.
Yeah,
So a lot of them will do that. So their job, their full-time job, is that they
yes.
are wrestlers. But I mean, the salary is really little. It's like maybe 2,000 RMB or something. But
Yeah, so what they'll do is they do their job, which is let's say judo, and then when they get in their early 20s, they'll retire, right? they'll retire and then they'll just go back to Mongolian wrestling,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
But when they
because
retire,
Mongolian,
does that mean like they quit or are they like on a pension? Do they have
no,
like a?
so
Are
like
they
they,
set
they'll
up?
they'll just yeah, they'll just kind of stop. Well, they still compete maybe in judo or shuaijiao, but they won't do it full time and live with the team anymore and train every day.
Right, right, right.
They'll go off back to their home because they're also herdsmen. So they'll go back. You got to remember, these wrestlers are all, most of them got money because there's more money in Mongolian wrestling for Mongols than any other sport. Because for them, if you win, even if you get top 8 or top 16, you're going to get some decent money. You're going to get a horse or a cow or a camel,
And it's
right?
not once a year like it is here. Here it's like maybe 2, 3 times a year you can
Yes.
earn money. In Inner Mongolia, it's like wait, how many
And one, okay,
50 or 60
no,
Do
times?
more
they
than
have
that.
like
Let me say it like this.
sponsors, like this company and this
No,
company, or it's just
no,
prize
no,
money?
because you compete from May to September. You can compete if you want to every day. Most wrestlers that are good will compete at least 60 times in one summer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Whereas here
60.
you'll compete maybe 3 times a year, 3, 4 times a year,
Yeah. Like
like that.
even I compete about 50 times a
So it's
summer,
kind of like
right?
baseball. Like it's like there's many
Yeah.
games. It's not like
Yeah, like I'll do 4 or 5 competitions a week starting from May until October.
Insane.
And some of the guys do more, and I'm like, how? I'm broken. Like I can barely function, right? And it's all day. And then if you keep going, you might have 9 matches in one day. I had one day where I did 14 matches, 14 or
mm.
15 matches. And it's and that's when I got actually injured
But
last
that's how they can earn a living. They
yeah,
can earn a living in Inner Mongolia is a lot. It reminds me a lot of India in that respect. Like the guys, I'm
the
sure it's
money's
not a
good.
ton of money per. Yeah,
No,
but
no, it's for Inner Mongolia, it's pretty good.
it's pretty good. Okay,
Yeah,
and
it's
then you got a lot of them. That's the
yeah, you
big
got a
thing.
lot,
That's the
right?
big thing.
Some of these
That's the
guys are
big thing.
making $1 million RB,
Jeez. I mean,
500.
over
Yeah.
here, some of the guys will get sometimes like 150 thousand tugrins or
Yeah.
something.
Wow. Okay, so there is a somewhat of a financial incentive too if you
Oh,
take
it's
it
huge.
seriously. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well,
just a
everyone in Inner
dream.
Mongolia that wrestles takes it. Matter of fact, you could be a good wrestler, but you won't even consider yourself a wrestler unless you are like what they call professional.
Hmm.
So, but everyone is like serious. Like there is no
Uh-huh.
such thing as like hobbies that go for fun in Inner Mongolia and just have a good time. That doesn't exist. You just do it, you know. And
Oh,
And it's so different than the Chinese
yeah,
because
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
Chinese guys they'll be at the sport university doing Greco, freestyle, or judo or Shuaijiao,
mm,
and then they'll compete till they're like 22,
yeah,
and then they'll stop,
just
and that's it. That's the end of their career. And if they made it far enough, they'll get a job with the federation or they'll go to the police or the
exactly.
army or
Very good,
whatever,
very
and
hmm.
they aren't generally competing anymore at all or training anymore. Whereas the Mongolians, they'll just go back to Mongolian wrestling. It's
yes,
the same thing here. Like you go in the Russian church, which is one of the biggest teams here, and all those guys, all of them have titles in other, either judo or sambo. Like it's just really common here. Sambo is so
yeah.
common.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, right?
Mhm.
The 40 minute is going to expire. Would you guys like to come back or do you have something you need to do?
Oh, let's redo it. Let's do it.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna end the meeting and then you could come back in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.